life goes on. Oh, you have a disease, what are you gonna do? Stop living? No. I'm John Rybak. Pretty much was a suburban boy my entire life. Moved around, lived in Kansas City a couple times, Colorado, Seattle, always came back to Chicago. I've had many jobs, many lives. I've had quite a few experiences in my life. My dad always had a camera in front of his face, always. And he gave me one of his older cameras, a Minolta fixed lens. And I remember him buying some film, and I burned through that thing in like 5 minutes. And he's like, "What did you take pictures of?" I'm like, "Oh, I took pictures of the floor and the carpet and the, you know." So he bought another roll of film and told me, "No, take pictures of things, not just stuff, you know, like inane objects." The last 6 months have been very sad for me because I loved doing photography. It was the one thing that, even in all of the struggles and problems I had in my life and the different changes and places I lived and jobs I had, I still had my camera. I could still be creative. I have a muscle disease, so an autoimmune deficiency. Apparently, the body doesn't like itself, so it starts deteriorating. This happened early on. I remember falling down in 2008 and I shattered my right wrist into pieces. I was still shooting. I still worked full time. I was still doing wedding photography. Back around 2014 is when I noticed it was getting more difficult to walk and to coordinate. I had to shoot a wedding. It was an outdoor wedding. It was in a forest preserve. It was really nice, beautiful setting, great family. Showed up to do the wedding and find out that the ceremony is going to be performed on a pier, on a lake, down a hill. And I looked at my assistant at the time, a young girl who was helping me, and I said, here's my camera. You're going to shoot the ceremony. And she looked at me and went, "What?" It was a great event. But every event that I did, it became more difficult to just function. And then eventually I was shooting a wedding in San Francisco for a friend, brought all the equipment out, forgot my cane in Chicago, got off the plane. I was in so much pain just from sitting. We got out and they had just waxed the floor and my right foot stuck and I went down. And what's bad about this time is instead of falling forward or backward, I folded. So my heels were underneath me up at my shoulder blades. That was bad. It was a lot of pain, but we got through it. And the next day we shot the wedding, but that fall again cemented the idea that this is probably my last event. Back in 2016, I found out I couldn't even hold a camera up. I had booked an event, 50th wedding anniversary, set up the equipment. I had my assistants there, and I went to hold the camera up to my face, and I just couldn't. At that moment, I realized my career as a photographer was probably over. What's weird about this disease is that no one knows really about it. There's very few people that have it. There's no cure for it, so there's no treatment for it. Many doctors, even a neurologist I just saw down here in Florida, said, "You know, I've heard about it in my 30 years experience, but never seen anybody." I can still work, I can still type, I can just open a beer. Sometimes I have to have somebody open it, but walking is the biggest problem. And what's funny is I have to keep my legs straight. In order for me to stand, I'm in a lift chair, but then I'm still stuck. I'm at a 45-degree angle, so one of the weird things I have to do, and people make fun of me, is I have to squirt a little water on the carpeting. I put a little water, it kind of makes the floor a little sticky. So that's one thing that I've had to learn, is always keep a little bottle of something. I got evaluated this week for a wheelchair, and I thought, oh boy, what a defeat that is. But then I was just thinking the last couple of days, I'm like, I'm actually kind of excited to get a wheelchair. I was like, how screwed up is that? That's weird, but you know, I don't go anywhere. I don't do anything. I can't go anywhere. So the wheelchair will open up a whole nother option for me of going out and actually being a human being and having fun. What's funny is I bought a camera at Christmas that was lighter, and I thought, I'll be able to hold this because it weighs only like, you know, half a pound. I still couldn't lift it. So I was watching a YouTube video, and everybody's heard about drones and drones they've been around, but I never understood the whole fascination with it because I don't do videos. I don't do videography. I never have. I've never gotten into it. But the article that I read was it was a new small drone that had still camera capability. The 12 megapixels, which is not bad. I mean, now for regular cameras, it's silly, but I thought, well, 12 megapixels, you could still take some good stuff. And the lenses are wide, so I thought, well, why don't I look into it? A little quadcopter came in, and I found out that with the help of a game controller, you hook up your phone, and it's Wi-Fi to the drone, and you can fly it around the house. And I took some pictures. I'm like, these aren't bad. Hey, I'm a photographer. Yay! My goal is to eventually build up to getting the real expensive ones that have the better cameras, and actually do landscape photography. It's something I did as an extra, because I did portrait photography and event photography, did some landscape photography, but this is going to open up a whole new world. It's going to get me the ability to not only satisfy my need for doing something, but then I can actually follow through with my craft, because I can still type, I can still edit. The problem was capturing the image. How do I get the image? How fortuitous it is to come into the hobby itself when technology is getting to where I need it to be to satisfy my needs. I'm very excited. I could see me opening another business. I don't know what I'm going to call it. John's Florida Place or something, or drone photography. I mean, there's a million options. And you can be the camera operator. So even if my abilities diminish to where I can't fly the drone, I can still have somebody fly it, and I can still hit that button to be a photographer. So I'm so excited. Photography for me, I didn't know I was an artist. You know, yeah, I'm an artist. But as soon as I started taking pictures, I found that I liked that. There was an ability for me to be able to find and use my talent, plain and simple. So photography opened up a whole new realm for me to where I could be creative, which I didn't know. So it's great.